everybody, it's your pal Ron Howard from Extreme Sequences. And yes, that was really hard to do with my throat. And I don't expect too many of those. So I appreciate the comments. Hey, Ron, you don't sound the same. Well, probably not going to, but I'm going to put my best foot forward to try to sound as normal and as energetic as possible. And I'm having a great day. I had a great day yesterday. I'm feeling good today. So I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to take advantage of expanding some more knowledge. Today, I'm going to convince you why there are 10 reasons you should be updating xLights. Last week, somebody had reached out and said, hey, Ron, I do all my own sequencing. I don't map anybody's shows. I'm on 2023.x and I haven't noticed any problems. I'm really worried that if I update xLights, it's going to change things. Well, yes, it probably will. So in the rare circumstances that you fall into that category of if it ain't broke, don't fix it, then go for it. There's no reason why you need to. But if you do your own sequencing, there are some things I'm going to show you here of the top 10 things why I think you should update xLights. You might want to consider it. If you're in the category of people that map other people's sequences, I highly recommend you get to 2025.2 and quick. Okay? I think some of these things are going to be very, very important. If you're in the category of those who have had issues in 2024, and then you're like, okay, let's go to 2025.1, that'll fix everything, hopefully. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. I believe it was Daryl Irwin or whoever is making these gym videos for xLights. They said, look, in the beginning of the year, there's no shows running. This is where we take a little more risk with enhancements and fixes. Always know something might break after being fixed. And that was quickly realized in .2 yesterday when I was trying to open up a sequence. And it just went kapoo-poo all over itself. I'm like, hey, Dan, this is a real S-fest. What's going on here? I'm going to roll back. And he looked at it and he went, ugh. Anyway, so these things happen. They quickly turned that around. In test flight, I was able to see the fix, put it on, and we were flying again. And now 2025.2 is available. I don't know it's available for Mac because it's got to go through this process to satisfy the Mac Apple gods before it can be released to the world. Anyway, long-winded preamble. Let's get into the top 10 reasons why I think you should update xLights. Number 1. A pretty cool feature that involves Lua scripts, primarily for your aliases. Now, if you're someone that is sort of starting your show over, you had year 1 and you started dabbling with aliases, but you sort of created a mess, and now every time you try to map something, you're just getting stuff you don't want in. It's all over the place. And you just want to start over. Maybe you've added a lot of new props and you want to just have a fresh slate to work from. You can do that. I will caution you. Make sure you really want to get rid of your aliases. You would do that by clicking on Tools, and we would come down here to Run Scripts. You click on Run Scripts, and you're going to see there's several choices here. There's been a lot of enhancements, or I should say bug fixes in this area. But the one you would be looking for is the delete all aliases. Okay. And then you would run that. Make sure you really want to do this before you do this. Okay. Otherwise, leave it alone. So this is a feature you're not going to see in earlier versions of xLights. Okay. While we're talking about aliases, let's go to our layout here. And I'm gonna, let's click on triple arches. I'm pretty sure I have a couple aliases in there from some of my older sequences. If I click on aliases here, Oh, good. We'll see that we have arches all and arches group. Some of you may have a whole bunch. Oh, that hurt. Some of you may have a whole bunch of aliases. And the way aliases work when you're mapping is everything that's on the right side is a possibility to map to the left side. Right side is the original sequence. Left side is what's in your show that you're mapping to. And it's going to choose the top one. The first one it sees is what it's going to choose. So if I'm mapping something and it has all arches group and arches group, it's going to take arches all. That's the rule. But if you don't like this, you can change it. You can just drag this up or drag it down. I think, let's see, I don't think you can drag. Now you have to use the arrows. So you can put this in the order you like, specifically for those that may have 5 or 6 in here, and you know that you're about to map something, I don't know, from PPD, and you're like, wait a minute, I know for a fact that their order is a little bit different when I map, so you could change that alias here very quickly. Okay, that's just one idea. All right. Third on the list, FPP Connect, keep open and show non-connected controllers. This is kind of a big one. There's a lot of work that went into FPP Connect, and I sort of really like these additions or enhancements, and I'm going to show you why. In Tools, we would go to our FPP Connect, and typically, sure, save. Okay, I must have made a change. So it's going to sit here and want to save, or possibly just freak out and blow up. And let's just see what it does. It's just going to save my sequence. In the past, when you go to FPP Connect, if you didn't have something turned on, you might not even know that it exists in your show. And that has all been changed. Oh, there we go. There we go. What's cool about this, and I don't think mine's working as it should, but this will illustrate it. You will now see the host name and IP address. My host names are different, and I think the reason is just doubling up on the IP addresses because it doesn't yet know what I've called my controllers because they're not connected right now at all. FPP is not connected for my Raspberry Pi or my panel. None of my controllers are turned on, but this will tell me what they are. Okay, so this is kind of a cool thing. The other thing I really like is this little button down here at the bottom that says keep open. Okay, please let me get through this video. Keep open. What's nice about this, if you select this, we can go ahead and choose the sequences that we want to update. We want to push them to these controllers that I cannot check because they're not here. And I can't really get any of the other attributes. But if they were there and it finishes uploading to, let's say, a specific playlist, the screen's not going to shut down. It's going to stay here and say, okay, great. Now I want to take these sequences and I want to upload them to a different playlist. This is really cool for those people that have, I got all my faith-based stuff on Sunday. I've got all my hip-hop stuff on Saturday. I've got classics Monday through Friday. This is a great way to just keep the window open, okay? So there's been a lot of work done with FPP. Also, on the Windows side, you can't do it here. I believe, and it may not be in here, I believe it's in the controller tab, you can move some of these windows around now. This doesn't happen on the Mac side. I don't really care about that. I'm used to seeing them in whatever order they've been in, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Okay, so that was number 3, FPP, keep open, and then show non-connected controllers. That's pretty cool. And again, over here in the controllers tab, this is where on the Windows side, we can move these around. We've always been able to do that, but I believe on the Windows side, you can actually click here and reorder these columns. Not so much on the Mac side. Again, that doesn't really bother me. Number 4. This is a big one. This is something that had been broken uh, for a little bit and was fixed. I'm just going to open up another screen here. I've got a whole bunch of models here. Super secret project. You'll find out soon enough. But one of the things when mapping, and I do this, if I'm mapping from my effects to models that I don't know a lot about, what helps me is to have a guide as to, well, okay, I've moved this down, I moved this up, I don't like it on this model, this submodel, it sucks the way it looks, how can I improve this? What's good when you get into the flow, and I spent a couple hours yesterday working on 8 somewhat unfamiliar models, and this is super important, and this is called group line effects, or actually not group line effects, it's background images. We'll get to group line effects. Group line effects are these guys here, which would be a number 5, but that's number 4. If I click on xLights and I go to preferences and we go to the effects grid, we have these choices here to turn on icon backgrounds or to turn on display transition marks. I highly suggest, unless you're working with some Acceleron 4 gigabyte, memory situation, and please don't do that. I highly suggest you leave display transition marks on. I've preached that before. The group effect indicator, I think, is very important because that's what's showing this little bar on this left here to let you know that there is an effect there. And it's often you'll see effects happening in the background. You're like, where the heck is that coming from? I didn't put that on there. Well, if you right click and tell this to show all effects, it's going to show everything. And then you can go down the list and find out where that effect is. And chances are you may have it at the string level or submodel level that you just can't view in the grid here, okay? So let me go back to my preferences and back to the effects grid. So I like to leave that on. Now, let's take a look here in the background. All of these effects here, they look the same to me. I don't see any difference other than the duration of time, but it doesn't give me any Scooby clues as to what this effect is doing. Watch what happens when I turn icon backgrounds on. Boom. There we go. I'm going to get rid of this. And now I can see that there are several differences. If I click on this one here, that's showing that this is number of chases 2, chase size 10. Whereas this one may be chase size 60. So when you're mapping and you want to break things up and you want to have some continuity, that consistency and effects that happen across these various models, well, this gives you a visual cue as to what may be happening without having to click on the effect and watch it or play the sequence and watch it. Okay? So these are very, very helpful. Recently, the single strand effect was broken a little bit and things sort of went catawampy. That has all been fixed. Okay, so this is really, really useful if you use single strand effect a lot like I do. Okay, all right, so that was 4 and 5. Number 6 is something that was just absolutely driving me crazy, and that was the sketch effect. So the sketch effect, and I'd have to go all the way over here to my S's to go find it, and there we go. So I'll just throw this on here just so you can see it. Oh, I'm going to try. So the sketch effect is a really cool tool, and I've used it a couple of times. I mean, it's one of these tools that can really get you bogged down because I would use it in some of my Star Wars theme sequences, and I would grab an image from the internet and I would trace maybe Yoda and the pod and all that. Okay, I cannot send you that image because I have sequences that I sell, or even if you share sequences, copyright laws sort of pretty particular about such things and just willy-nilly sharing copyrighted material. So Sketch Effects doesn't need that image. The image was used to trace and create the shape or shapes that you will be using. Nothing more. So xLights was always barfing this report. Hey, you're missing these. And I would get emails all the time and messages. Hey, Ron, there's something wrong with your sequence. Apparently, I'm missing a background image. I said, did you render and see it play back? Yeah, it plays fine. Don't call me again on this matter. It doesn't matter. You don't need it. So thankfully, they have gotten rid of it. And that is numero 6. Number 7, submodels. Let's just go to this model. And I click on my submodels. And there we go. That's much better. This was sort of a really tough one in the past, and maybe it has changed. Maybe I'm not seeing this, but I should be able to move this bar over, and maybe this is something we'll have to talk to Dan about, but on the Windows side, you should be able to scroll across and open this up, and I think this is going to be a Mac issue, and that sort of sucks. What do you do? But if you're on the Windows side, you should be able to scroll across. Typically, you'd have to click in here and hold the arrow key down, and go all the way over and all the way over to see this. But what I saw demonstrated recently was the ability to have a scroll bar here at the bottom. So, ding dong, Dan, is this possible to fix this on the Mac side? That'd be super cool of you to do. All right, so that's it. So on the Windows side, 2025.2, having better control of navigating the submodels is a great thing, and I can't wait to see that on the Mac side. All right, see, there we go. Are you sure? Yeah, just get out of there. All right, that is number 7 for Windows only. Makes me feel like I'm being left out. That's all right. Tools, cleanup, file location. This one made me laugh a little bit because when my Mac beeps, like, that typically means that I can't do anything until I go hit OK or cancel somewhere. So now when I click Tools, Cleanup, File Locations, why? Why? Oh, I know why. Because we get a thing down here at the bottom saying, cleaning up file locations done. Folks, ever since we've had the ability to do clean up file locations, it just does it. I have never once been so concerned that I had to go quickly to my folders and say, did it really do it? Did it do it? Not once. It does it. It does it in less than a second. Doesn't matter the number of files, the size of the images or videos, it just does it. Now, if you're rocking a really slow computer, maybe it takes longer. I don't know. But if you need the visual in the far bottom left of your corner to let you know that in that split second, it has copied your images, videos, shaders, and placed them into your show directory, which you should do. This is a practice you should always do with your show. Don't be one of these people that go, hey, I don't know if this is a horrible question, but, I changed my computer and I don't see any of my images, videos, shaders. They're all gone. What did I do wrong? My first question is, do you have all of those inside of your show folder? No, I've got my images over on D drive. I've got all my videos over on K drive. I'm like, I suggest you get a time machine and go back and watch some more videos. All right, don't do that. Keep your files in your show directory. There's no excuse not to do that. And if you don't have enough room, then get more room, please. All right, I know that's a little harsh. Ron, be nice. I'll try. All right, so that's tools, cleanup file locations, a silly beep, and a warning that I don't need, that it's been completed. All right, buffer size limit. to 4,000. Well, you know who first convinced me that maybe I should change the buffer size for my groups like Whole House Group, All Pixels Group, and stuff like that? It was Pierre Bucas. I'm gonna screw up his name. Pierre. He's a nice dude that sells sequences, blinky sequences from Australia, even though he's from South Africa, pretending to be an Aussie. It sort of works sometimes until you hear him talking. You're like, nah, you're not from Australia. But anyhow, he's a really smart guy, and he's also a contributor to xLights. He's one of the smartest guys I know. Too smart for his own good, if you ask me. And he's very talented at sequencing. So do check out his work. All Pixels Group. I have changed mine to the max, 4,000. I'm going to see if it just overwhelms me with delight. I don't think it will. Will it slow down the sequencing? I don't know. I don't really care. I've got a Mac Mini Pro. Nothing's going to slow down xLights for me, really, other than maybe some development that breaks things. But that's okay. That's par for course because it's early in the year. So if you want to change the buffer size limit to 4,000, you can. It's all about the resolution that it will use from left to right, and it only works when you're using the render style per preview. So if you change this to 4,000 and you set everything to overlay center like I do, this isn't going to do anything for you. Nothing. You're not gonna see a difference. So maybe I'll play around with some effects at 4,000 for the buffer size. Somebody must have complained about it. It might have been a drive-through. Like, man, we're doing these whole house effects on the drive-through. We need more detail. Okay, sure, go for it. And number 10, that hurt. Number 10, remove models from existing groups. This one's pretty cool. This one's pretty cool. I was apprehensive when I saw this in testing it because I didn't know. Because when you right-click on a group, you have this choice that says delete all aliases. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's that? Oh, delete. No, not delete. Where? Hold on, I'm gonna have to find this. To remove. Oh, Ron, you're an idiot. Remove model from existing groups, not groups from groups, but remove model. So when I right click on this, there is this choice down here called remove from existing groups. When you first see this, what comes to mind? In your mind, does it somehow paint a picture of the next choice will be a choice? Or in your mind, is there this certain apprehension and fear that when I do this, it's just gone from all groups? And so that's what made me nervous about this. Now, I would put this in a sandbox and test it first. But let's click on it. Oh, good. It didn't destroy my show. What this does, when you have a model and you want to remove it from groups, you get to choose the groups you want to remove it from. Okay? In this case here, the Gilbert Engineering Click Click Boom 1 happens to be, I don't know why I would remove a model from the submodels in which belong to it. So that's a little bit weird. But if I didn't want to put it, if I didn't want to have this model in the, let's say, all pixels group, no mega tree, or perhaps I moved the model and no longer want it in a group that might have been in that section, this is great. Then you just choose the ones you want. I really don't know why the submodels show here. This is a bit of a strange one. But I can certainly see taking a model and telling it, I no longer want you in these other groups. Or what if you accidentally had it go in all those other groups? Well, this would show you what they're in. I like this better than this area down here that says in model groups, and you've got to sort of like, well, I can't see everything in here. How do I get to the end? You know? No, this is better. You don't have to delete them, but if you really want to get a good snapshot of what this model might be in, you can consider using this. And then if you know you don't want it there, get rid of it. All right. That was a lot. That was a lot to go through. We're done with that. Top 10 reasons I think you should update xLights, certainly this time of year. xLights is hitting its stride. Nothing but great things to come from xLights. I wouldn't be afraid of it. Again, the percentage of people that should not update is very, very small. I'm gonna, dare I say, 1%. The other 99% should probably be updating, and it's through our testing and playing around with this that we're able to offer feedback to the development team so that they can make course corrections, additions, and further enhancements. So we are the testers, and this is the right time to be testing. Okay. I hope that was insightful. Thanks for being patient with me. I keep forgetting in my other videos. Like, please like, please subscribe. It helps the algorithm so that other people can find content they're looking for to navigate these crazy waters known as xLights. All right. I'm Ron. This has been xLights Insights. Look, I got it right. And we'll try to catch you again real soon. You take care. Be good out there.